Tanjiro X Listener, Part 1. Story by M's ASMR. You loved watching Demon Slayer. You watched every episode more times than you could count. And you didn't know it, but Tanjiro loved it too. Somehow he could see you. Every time you smiled when you came on screen. Every time you laughed when Inosuke and Zenitsu were chasing each other. And slowly, he fell in love. And he knew he needed to see you. On one of his missions, an older woman bumped into him. Of course, he apologized, and the woman gave him something. When you see her, crush it in your hand. He was shocked. How did she know? Nonetheless, the next time he saw you, he crushed it in his hand. Tanjiro disappeared, leaving Inosuke and Zenitsu in shock. You didn't see it, but Tanjiro appeared behind you. You laughed as Zenitsu started crying and whining for Tanjiro to come back. Tanjiro could finally hear your laugh. He finally heard you, saw you, in person. He couldn't help it. He needed to hug you, and he did. You froze, but eventually turned around. You saw Tanjiro crying. He wasn't 2D anymore. Tanjiro? You said, almost crying yourself. Yeah. He said, laying his head in your neck and hugging you tighter. I love you, Tanjiro. You mumbled. I love you too. After a minute, he pulled away and cupped your face. You could tell he wanted to kiss you. Go ahead, you whispered. Tanjiro nodded and kissed you. It was probably the best feeling you've ever felt. The rest of the day you spent it together. You got to meet Nezuko and spend time with her. You showed Tanjiro the types of foods you ate and what was your favorite. By the time it hit 9 o'clock, he and Nezuko started fading away. Oh, I guess we're going back. Can we share a final kiss, Tanjiro? You asked, blushing. And with that, you shared your final kiss. As he and Nezuko faded away, you cried. I'll see you, my love. I'll see you too. And he was gone. A few months passed. About a month ago, you started studying shifting. Shifting allowed you to see Tanjiro again, but if you stayed in their dimension for too long, you couldn't go back to your own. You didn't care if you got stuck there, as you didn't have any family. You were an only child, and all of your family died of old age. Once you had everything you needed, you shifted. Now, you were standing outside the Butterfly Mansion, but in the back. Rah! You heard from the other side of the fence. You knew that was Inosuke, so you knew you were in the right place. You walked to the front and entered the estate, trying not to alert anyone. Ara! You heard, shit, that's Shinobu. You thought, who are you? Without turning around, you asked, where's Tanjiro, Miss Shinobu? She was shocked. You knew it was her without even turning around. Oh, he's in the garden. You thanked her and went to the garden. Once you saw them, you hid, trying to think of how to surprise him. You decided to just walk towards him. You walked behind Tanjiro. Tanjiro, behind you! Zenitsu said, shaking. Tanjiro turned around and his jaw dropped. You were standing in front of him. He practically jumped on you, crying. Hi, love, you said, pulling him in for a kiss. Zenitsu and Inosuke looked dumbfounded. What's the meaning of this? Zenitsu screeched, almost like he was a bird. You giggled and explained everything. Shinobu had told the other Hashiras about you. You spent time with the four, and eventually you ended up talking with Tengen. He was asking information about you. Of course, you answered all of his questions truthfully. Eventually, it got dark, and you didn't go out anymore. Tanjiro and you had decided to sleep together. In the morning, Tanjiro took you shopping for kimonos, because you had told him you never planned on leaving. It's been a few years, and you joined the Demon Slayer Corps. Tanjiro and Inosuke became a Hashira. Zenitsu was almost a Hashira. You learned flame breathing before Rengoku passed away. Rengoku's death took a toll on you, but eventually you moved on. After all, you got to be with the person you loved most, Tanjiro. Hi, Embers! I hope you enjoyed part 1 of Tanjiro X Listener. Take care, and I hope you guys can't wait for part 2.